structural work has been done, before your subcontractor goes in, the IT guy goes in. So something is very wrong with the whole process. All right? Theoretically, it should be easy, deploy one time, infrastructure is there, your subcontractor just goes in and do the work. And therefore, we need to look at alternative infrastructure so that the safety team can look at tracking workers, reporting based on certain documentation. So we explore the use of LoRa Bluetooth technology in this particular case. The concept actually was done on an EC project at Sengkang. All right. What happens was the result actually shows a lot of potential, and we are able to track up to sub-meter if you want to, without GPS as well as underground. So this is the project that we actually did. Sorry, it's an Anchorville, not Sengkang. And these are the kind of deployment we did, all right? By the way, we didn't actually go in and do this on our own. We tapped onto another industry initiative called BIM, and we actually work with this company called TechVents. So later on, for those who's interested on this technology and how to use it, Ken is up there, so you guys can talk to him. He has a more extensive report on what he did over here, okay? But I'm just taking out some abstract for you to understand. It's a combination of LoRa, Wi-Fi, as well as Bluetooth, okay? How all these things work, let the expert talk to you afterwards. And this is some of the things that we could actually capture under the camera view. So you notice, different color means different thing. Okay, so later on I'll show you what it means over here. So, yeah, next slide. So this is kind of dashboard that we could actually get out of the infrastructure. We zoom into a specific area. You notice the red refers to skill set. The green refers to subcontractors. So we could actually count the number of subcontractors that's moving around from what time to what time, where were they, okay? So if the subcontractor agrees to provide me with 100 workers on a specific skill set at a certain location at what time, if I were to zoom back to this data and he's not doing it, I'm going to deduct his money. All right, simple as that. Or a worker has been stationary at a place for half a day, then you have to question them what's happening. All right, so theoretically, I could get dashboard like that that gives me information to whatever segregation I want based on the tagging that we're looking at. All right, that's so much about infrastructure. Like I said, if you guys are interested, please talk to Ken. He's up there. I just want to focus a little bit more on the application prototype. In simplicity, we want to retrieve opening information from the BIM repository based on certain criteria. And then from there, we will translate this into a checklist for the safety team, and so that they can go around inspecting, and this comes to complete with a drawing. Now, one thing we didn't put over here is the external facade. So we always believe that once you're done with the structural works, the external facade must be done anyway. So we are more focused on the internal openings. Then we want to, in future, take this opening and send it as reference information to monitoring devices. If you remember the diagram I showed earlier on, I could spot workers. So if the geofence area is there, I could now track anybody getting into that place that they're not supposed to go into. So within Revit, what we did over here was we went through some kind of decoding. We call it pseudo coding. Part A is to focus on horizontal element. We do one bit at a time. Then we prompt for opening, we prompt for levels, and then we generate the Excel file based on the satisfied criteria. And then we highlight on floor plans, and then we do a manual tag all, and then we just print for the use for the safety guard. So it's very straightforward, very simplistic, but it saves a lot of work for the modelers, okay? In part B, we want to be able to detect any vertical M&E services. A lot of time we have a behavior. We draw M&E services, we don't get bothered by the openings. All right? And if someone spends time doing the opening, it's labor intensive. So what we want to do is, at least in this prototype, we want to be able to detect any of this opening, automatically create that opening, and then we can kind of repeat the process that we did in part 1. So that's the idea that we want to look at in using computational BIM for the project model. Okay. So you see, when we actually started the approach, we just want to actually create the applet function in Revit. By the way, if the function can be done in Revit one time, we don't want to write an application to do it. It's meaningless. So what we focus over here is if you have a collection of application function, we just want to create that. But we also have a principle. We don't want to create overly complex Dynamo application. We focus on a very specific, and we develop little bits and pieces from there. So you see, one of the questions that we always got people here telling us, why do you want to go through all the details, specification, before you just start writing Dynamo application? The problem with Dynamo today, it's very prototyping. And we all know, you develop one, it's going to be different from another guy. And then when it comes to maintainability, you probably spend more time trying to figure out what's going on rather than actually coding it. So what we do over here is that we mandate a structured method of doing Dynamo application. Then subsequently, you look at the green part, you're questioning ourselves, why do you want to do the migration? The thing over here is that Dynamo, we all know, is not easy to deploy. All right? Sometimes it gets very unstable, especially when you get multiple libraries. So what we want to do is to subsequently migrate these to a more stable platform, and we just do deployment, especially for new stuff. If you ask them to go into Dynamo, they do this, they do that, it doesn't run, they start calling you, so your overhead is actually quite complex, all right? So this is actually why the details. So when we actually finish with that, we actually draw up the module. Basically, the whole application only has 3 modules. All right? And that's how we do it. So for future, we can actually extend from. So every little module that you see over here is a simple Dynamo application. Subsequently, I can link them up if I want to. All right? If not, let's just keep it that way. The aim is to get a prototype going. So that was actually our initial timeline. Unfortunately, we were delayed for over 3 months. And I'll explain to you why later on. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go into a demo. Next slide, please. In this demo, one of the things you have to be aware of, because Dynamo, when you load the long library, it can be quite unstable sometimes. So sometimes, occasionally, it crashes and you don't know what on earth is going on. So in order to be simple about this, we're going to just focus on selected application, and then some of the things are still under debugging, so you just look at it and figure out how it's going to be done. So subsequently scripting, we're going to continue our effort to complete this scripting. All right, we will switch over to the demo. Is it up? I think you need to duplicate screen. Oh. Okay. So if they crash, be patient with me. This is still a very raw prototype. Okay, so press escape. You click somewhere on the screen. Okay. This is actually one of our EC projects that we actually test the application on. Can we switch to a floor plan first? Second floor. Can you see the 3D view? Switch on the rest of the elements. So this is actually the structural part of the project. We have decided to switch off the rest of the thing for simplicity, so we just focus on the horizontal element first. Switch back. Okay, so let's run the player. Your dynamo needs to close this, right? Yeah. Okay, from this dynamo player interface, you will notice our approach to application development is not about creating one huge module and let it run happily out of that. So what we do is that you notice we create little ones, and then we keep debugging until we get satisfied. Then the last one is actually our application, all right? Even though it's still prototyping, we can still link them up. So let's look at the input. Right, so the system will ask you what criteria you want to do. So let's assume I say anything more than 1,000. And the width, let's keep it at 400. And I want to look at second floor. And then let's run the application. Let's keep our finger crossed. Huh? So you read the entire model. Let's go to the model first. So you scroll down there, it will tell you how many openings satisfy this criteria at the bottom. All right, let's go back to the Excel file. Unfortunately, we're still debugging this file. So it's always the top 3 row that's correct. So if you actually say 5 opening, so it's the top 5 criteria that's correct. So we are still debugging this, but I can just simply delete it and pass it to the safety guy. It's still, in its development stage, so let's be patient with it. So once we're done with this, we can now start preparing the drawing sheet, pass it to the safety guy, complemented with this Excel file, that he can start doing the work that you want. So you notice, I go back to the second floor plan, and switch to transparent or wireframe. Okay, you notice the 3 red spots, they're all there. So let's tag all. And you notice anything that can be done in Revit in one simple step, I don't want to do it. Let's use that function, all right? So you notice 1, 2, 3. Let's put it on a drawing sheet. All right, and let's lay it out. Yeah. So once you get that, to supplement the information, we just say, bring in the schedule. And there you have it. The schedule works fine, but the Excel file has a bit of a problem. So you notice we can lay out nicely, tidy it up. This sheet don't need full documentation because the aim is for them to locate the opening, go there, verify that I've actually done barricades, secure, cover, securely, that kind of thing. So once it's done with that, theoretically you can check it off as work done. All right, and this goes on for different floors, different whatever approaches that you want to do. Okay, so that's actually the prototype. We are still developing on the vertical penetration, automatic placement of opening. So these are all in progress, okay? And that's about it for the demo. Let's switch back to the slides. And let's go on. So what's next that we've actually gone to this stage? Some of the findings are as follows. Infrastructure provides a lot of opportunity for us to go beyond geofencing. I can track workers, subcontractor, headcount, and so forth. Now, I can actually put a lot of IoT devices, and if you tag it to the infrastructure, I get more content in the field. Today, it's not that you can't do it with 4G or Wi-Fi, but let's put it this way. It's not easy to deploy Wi-Fi. It's not easy to deploy, costly to deploy 4G. Let's put it this way. All right, use an example of you doing a direct point-to-point connection with Wi-Fi. As long as something blocks away, you don't have data for the period. But with LoRa and what we are doing today, this information is constantly fed back to the head control center. And our only prototype demonstrates the feasibility of bringing BIM content. Not easy, but it still can, okay? And we will continue our application. Openings is just one aspect. There's a lot of opportunity. We all know when we do construction work, structural work done, next day you cannot put architectural people in. You have to wait for 1 or 2 floors before people start going in. So what do? You zone up danger zones. And all these can actually put into the repository of BIM, extract it and present it into your tools, all right, to help you manage safety. And right now, unfortunately, all our people are doing it as ECA, extra curriculum. We need to formalize a team to utilize resources, capabilities. The guys have been investing this to spend at least 50% of the time managing this application for us. Go back. No, go back. Yeah. If we can actually get this thing going, I think we can increase the threshold productivity for the site with at least 40%. Checklist information from the digital model can go in. Other potential is defects team can actually go in and look at inspection, correction, and this kind of things in there. So there's a lot of opportunity once you get the infrastructure in place and how BIM content can actually get to the view. Thanks. So our future opportunity is to explore the use of 5G infrastructure to complement LoRa, okay? We think even with 5G, you will still have some limitation. So it's not going to be run independently, but how can we simplify the infrastructure to support the application that we want? We're definitely seeking prototyping. One of the things that we definitely want to do is to be able to integrate with real